Welcome into AZ Audibles. I'm Haley Stasiak alongside Eric Sorensen and Jordan Ham. Derek Wahlstrom resigned from Verado this past week. He took over in 2011, a team that was 2 wins a season to one of the better-known teams in the West Valley.
I think you'll be hard-pressed to find a coach that built a program from the ground up better in the Valley or even the state than Derek Wahlstrom. 26-8 the last 3 years. They beat Desert Edge for the first time in school history. I think, guys, in some way, Coach Wahlstrom may have been a victim of his own success. I spoke to him this week, and he's already been reached out to about potential assistant positions in the fall. And whoever hires this guy is not only going to get a very good football coach, but an even better person.
And I think he would be getting looks as a head coach if it didn't happen so late in the cycle. But let's look at Verado. This, like both of you guys said, this program has really built up. It's a very solid program out on the west side, and they return a guy like Ty Jenkins, a really good running back, and they have plenty of talent. And Eric, you and I were over there just this past fall, and it seemed like they had plenty of depth in those lower years in high school and things like that. So I think that this is a very successful program, and it's going to be a great job for whoever picks it up.
And that depth you mentioned says a lot about how he built it, because you can have 1 or 2 decent classes, but it's when you can just start recycling players from one year to the next. As the seniors graduate, you have juniors and even sophomores that can fill in and be productive.
Defensive end Braden Flynn is transferring from Hamilton to Chandler. He told AZ Central that it was a family decision and what was best for him. Hamilton's been in the news for the hazing investigation that started a couple weeks ago. But all of that aside, what is Chandler getting in Braden Flynn?
Well, Chandler now just has one more weapon on that defense. They return a ton of talent from that state championship team on both sides of the ball, but also on the defensive side of the ball. And I think that Flynn is going to be a Hamilcar Rashed type player. Rashed was able to just rack up sacks when he was at Chandler. Braden Flynn last year, 14.5 sacks. That led 6A. So this is just one more thing along the defensive line. Him and Chris Manoa are going to be a tough tag team to block this upcoming year.
It's a great analogy when you say Hamilcar Rashed. I'm curious to see what the AIA is going to do with his situation. Are they going to let him straight transfer and play the entire season, or is he going to have to sit out 5 games? When you look at Braden Flynn, he has the body type, Jordan, to put on an additional 15, 20, 25 pounds. He's about 6'3", 220 pounds, and he could really, really develop into a special player his senior year.
Castile football is taking a different approach to spring workouts this off-season. They're incorporating yoga. Now, we see that a lot in spring training with the Major League Baseball teams. It has a lot of benefits. You're getting flexibility, you're building stamina, and mentally with patience. I've done yoga. Jordan, I know you have too. What other benefits do you see with that?
Well, I think it's going to be a great thing with focus as well. So much of yoga is focused on breathing and just kind of being in the moment. And there are plenty of big time situations where you can get overwhelmed, but that's going to help them focus in. And it's how many times have we said in all of these segments this offseason how great it is to see football players doing track or doing basketball and working different muscles and being more complete athletes. I think that that can only help them as this season rolls along.
Yeah, I love this outside of the box strategy, I guess, that Castile's doing. When I think of yoga and how it goes to football and helps in football, it has to be core strength. I mean, linemen, quarterbacks, kickers, punters, that is such a big part, especially at that age when you're sort of developing your body and getting stronger. Great idea by Castile to put this in.
It has all those benefits on the field, but it could help off the field as well with staying focused, as you mentioned, Jordan, in school as well.
I have only one thing to say to both of you, and that's namaste.
You're the worst.
That's what we've got for you this week on AZ Audibles. Be sure to check out Eric's zone read and more of our high school football content on sports360az.com. We'll see you next week.